G'day folks, Rod from My Water Filter here today, and what we're going to do is just have a look at replacing the cartridges in the Dalton twin benchtop water filter with Alka-Hydrate or with pH neutralization. Okay, so those alkalizer cartridges and the pH neutralization cartridges, very similar cartridges in that they're basically adding mineral into the water to elevate the pH and add some mineral into the water. Okay, so here we are, we've got a Doulton Ultracarb System with Alka-Hydrate that's been set up here for a year, and now it's time for us to change the cartridges. Okay, so what we've got here is the cartridges have arrived, and this is what we need you to do when your products arrive from us. It's vitally important that your products aren't cracked and that they all seal and the water flows through the products as they're supposed to, so we create the best drinking water we can. Okay, so here's the Dalton cartridge, and this is going here in position 1. Okay, now it's just been dropped off by the courier. I've taken it out of the box and I'm having a look at it. So what I'm doing, I'm casting my eyes up and down the ceramic, and I'm looking and I'm making sure that there's no cracks. If there's any cracks on here, I want to know about it, and if there's any cracks in there, you need to notify us. All right, but we have a spin around there and it's looking good. Just spin the ends, make sure that the ends are on there well. There's one hole in the end on these Daltons, so that's got to go down into the head. Just make sure that you've got a good washer on each end ready to go. That cartridge is looking good, perfect, ready to be installed. Here's the second cartridge, and this is our alkalizer. Have the minerals in there. Alkalizer or our pH neutralization cartridge, it just goes to about 7 pH. These alkalizers go as high as 9.5, and then they'll slowly come back. Best thing to do to know when to replace your alkalizer cartridge is to do a pH test. When the pH of your water drops lower than you'd like it to be, then it's time to get a new alkalizer cartridge to control the pH of your drinking water. So what we're going to do here today is we've got the 2 cartridges there. They're not broken, they're not cracked, they've arrived well. No need to notify My Water Filter, there's no damage, nothing that needs fixing. Very successful. So we've got the water filter here, it's turned off at the tap. Generally we'll get hold of the filter and we'll just lay him over on his side. They're a right-handed thread, so turn to the right to make it go tight. Today we want to remove the housing, so we're going to turn it to the left. So we're going to, looking down on the top of the housing, we want to turn it anti-clockwise. You can see on the handle it's got open and close here. So you have a look at the way that the arrow is going to go, and you've got to put the open or close down over the top of the housing. All right, so we slip him on like that, just put a little weight on and pull up on the tool, same as the second one. Okay, now depending on how hard these are to get off next year is how tight you tighten them this year. So they don't need to be screwed right up really tight. Okay, just you saw what I did then, just nip them up. So once the seal's broken here, these will screw and undo very easily. All right, so you just use the tool, undo it. Once it's undo, then we just do it all by hand. All right, so here's the Dalton side. I've already pulled the cartridge out ready to go for today. So here's our cartridge that's going to go in. We've already inspected it. The hole, this is a benchtop, so this hole in the end has to go down. The water will penetrate through the cartridge, down the center core. Water will come out here. We want it to go into the head, flow over into the next housing. Okay, so we put him on there. I tend to hold the cartridge in there while I put the top on because I don't want to knock it over. Okay, we'll screw that housing back on. We'll just do them up top firm by hand, and we're good to go. Off with the Alka-Hydrate or the pH neutralization housing. Here's our cartridge, not too many secrets here. The washer, that basically is the seal, and that goes down. Okay, the water's going to fill around the housing and the water will penetrate through the top. It'll come down through the mineral and the water's going to come out the bottom and then flow out of our spout. So Alka-Hydrate cartridge or a pH elevation cartridge, pH neutralization cartridge, they're going in here into position number 2, and same thing, we just slip him straight on with the housing, and while you've got the housings off, just make sure that the O-ring inside is sitting in there nicely, and you can take them out and clean them if required, rub a little bit of olive oil on them if you like. But there we go. We screw him on there. Benchtops are fairly simple. Once we've got him on there, housing tool on, nip him up a little bit, housing tool on, nip him up a little bit. Simple as that. Done up, tight, done, ready to go, okay? Once the cartridges are in and it's all set up, sitting there nicely, ready to go, we're simply going to turn on the water, flush the water, and we're going to flush the water through this system for at least 5 minutes and give it a good flush. There is carbon inside the Doulton Ultracarb cartridge. You might find that when you give it a flush, that carbon is going to flush out, but it will flush through and flush straight through the Alka-Hydrate cartridge as well. So you may get a little bit of black water come out of the spout when you first turn it on, but that'll clear quite quickly and you'll just have normal clear water flowing out of the spout. Once you've flushed that for 5 minutes, you're good to go. You can have a drink, collect the water, put it on the garden, whatever you like. But once it's been flushed today, give it about 12 hours overnight, get up tomorrow the next day, turn on the tap, drop 3 litres of water out of it quickly, and that's pretty much it. You're good to go, all right? Away you'll go. You use that water filter then for the next year or so until you need to replace the cartridge, and then you'll just do the same thing over again. Remember that I mentioned that you do a pH test on your Alka-Hydrate cartridge or your pH neutralization cartridge, just to make sure that you're drinking pH neutral water or above, all right? We're very big on alkalized water here at my water filter, so when that gets down lower than what you'd like it to be, you want to replace that Alka-Hydrate cartridge at the same time. Water filter slows, get any slowing pressure on your filter, take the housing off the Dalton cartridge, have a look at our flushing video, and you can simply give that a scrub on the outside with some 100 grit sandpaper, brings it back to life, and away we go again. Okay, so any questions, give us a yell here at My Water Filter. We'd love to hear from you anytime. Apart from that, have a good day. Good luck.